Good morning. Here are the verses John 6 verses 1 to 10 from the New International Version, NIV, of the Bible. Some time after this, Jesus crossed to the far shore of the Sea of Galilee, that is, the Sea of Tiberias. 2 And a great crowd of people followed him because they saw the signs he had performed by healing the sick. 3 Then Jesus went up on a mountainside and sat down with his disciples. For the Jewish Passover festival was near. 5 When Jesus looked up and saw a great crowd coming toward him, he said to Philip, "Where shall we buy bread for these people to eat?" 6 He asked this only to test him, for he already had in mind what he was going to do. 7 Philip answered him, "It would take more than half a year's wages to buy enough bread for each one to have a bite." 8 Another of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, remarked, 9 Here is a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish, but how far will they go among so many? 10 Jesus said, "Have the people sit down." There was plenty of grass in that place, and they sat down. About 5,000 men were there. Expounding on this passage, this narrative introduces the famous miracle of Jesus feeding the 5,000, one of the few miracles recorded in all 4 Gospels: Matthew 14 verses 13 to 21, Mark 6 verses 31 to 44, Luke 9 verses 10 to 17, and here in John 6. Jesus and his disciples had crossed the Sea of Galilee and climbed a mountainside. As Jesus and his disciples observed the approaching multitude, Jesus asked Philip how they could feed such a large group. This question was intended as a test, as Jesus already knew what he planned to do. Philip's response emphasizes the impossibility of the task from a human perspective. It highlights the economic hardship of the time, suggesting that even half a year's wages wouldn't be enough to feed the crowd. Andrew then introduces a boy who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. Barley loaves were considered food for the poor, and the fish were likely small, dried ones. Andrew's statement underscores the inadequacy of their resources in the face of such a large crowd. When Jesus asks for the people to sit down, it is a display of his confidence and calm control over the situation. He knew what was to come and was preparing the crowd for the miracle that was about to occur. This story is not just about Jesus' ability to provide food miraculously, but it's also about faith, trust, and the sufficiency of God. Despite the seemingly impossible circumstances, Jesus demonstrates that with God, nothing is impossible.